Hello students, welcome to Trunkie Academy, and today again here we are with again a new topic. Okay, so we are studying about the different physiological processes. Okay, and with regard to that we studied about the nutrition, circulatory system, nervous system and all, and today we will study about the hormones. Okay, so hormones in animals. You must have heard about this term hormones, and now we'll study it in little detail as per your syllabus. Hormones in animals. So when we say control and coordination, there are two processes involved in control and coordination in the body of the animals. That is the nervous system and endocrine system. Nervous system that we studied in the previous classes about the neurons, brain, spinal cord, peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, and also how these nerves are carrying the nerve impulse from, okay, and how there are three types of nerves: sensory nerve, motor nerve, and the mixed nerve. Okay, so they are responsible for conducting the electrical impulses, the response to the stimuli. Okay, we are highly evolved human beings, mammals, and within the mammals, human beings are highly evolved, and this control and coordination is very well developed. And in case of nervous system, we find that it is so well coordinated, it's functioning so perfectly that animals are able to coordinate, and they are able to respond to the stimuli very easily, and there are some well developed sense organ: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin, etc. Okay. Now, in case of this hormone in animals, when we say, it means it's the not nervous system; it is the endocrine system. Okay, so it is the endocrine system. Endocrine system means okay. As you are in class 10, so according to this level, this is a system. This is defined as in which hormones are secreted by endocrine glands. That means ductless gland. Okay, and these hormones play a very important role in chemical coordination of the body. So that is called endocrine system. Okay, they are produced from the ductless glands. So we'll first write about the definition of hormones. Okay, they are required in very minute quantity, and they play a very important role in physiological functions of the body. Hormones are chemicals or chemical substances, secreted by endocrine, or you can say ductless gland, and are poured directly into the blood, at a site away from its place of production. That means at a target cell or target tissue. Okay, place of production, and required in minute quantity. So in very small quantity, they are very much active, and they can cause one physiological function, or they can regulate one physiological functions. Okay, so hormones are chemicals secreted by endocrine gland, that is a ductless gland. There are two types of glands in our body, which are exocrine and endocrine. Exocrine means the glands with the duct. So exocrine means that produces the or digestive juices or enzymes, exocrine and endocrine. In case of endocrine, there are the tissues which produces the hormones, and these hormones are in direct contact with blood. Blood vessels are innervating, and they are richly supplied. The endocrine glands are richly supplied with the blood vessels, and the blood carry these hormones to a target site where the action is absorbed. Okay, so these are required in very minute quantity, and it is active at a site away from its place of production or at its target cells or target tissue or target gland. Okay, and in case of exocrine glands, it is the glands. It is with the ducts, like we have seen in case of glands, which is producing the digestive juices or enzymes. So, for example, liver is the exocrine gland. Okay, but pancreas is a unique gland which has got both exocrine and endocrine part in the same gland. Some part of this has got duct and is producing the enzyme, and some part has got patches, islands like patches of tissue, which is endocrine in function, and these patches of tissues are called islets of Langerhans, in the name of the scientist who first discovered and studied about these islets of Langerhans or endocrine tissue, which is responsible for producing important hormones like insulin, glucagon, and somatostatin. Okay, that we will study in detail a little later. Okay, after a while. Now, the important point that you should remember, that is the hormones release their secretion. Sorry, not hormone, endocrine glands. Endocrine glands release their secretions okay, into the bloodstream, into the bloodstream. Means they are directly pouring, they are allowing the blood to carry it to different parts of the body. Okay, the blood carries to different parts for its action. Then the blood then carries to different parts of the body, different regions or regions or target tissue for its action. Okay. Now another thing is, they act on a specific organ. Hormones act on a specific organ. Particular hormone will act on a specific organ. Hormones act on a specific organ. It means that the insulin will act in the liver or muscles, okay, it will go to bones for its action. Okay, so different hormones, they act in on a particular site. Okay, they have a specific action on a specific gland or tissue. So they have got one important target organ. So this is called target organ. So hormone act on a specific organ called target organ. Okay, so target organ or target tissue. Okay, and now important point is that target cells are recognized by the receptors. In some cases, target cells are having some receptors on the plasma membrane, and in some cases, the target molecules are present within the cell, and the hormones pass through the plasma membrane, enter into the cell, and then bind to the receptors, a molecule within the cell, and then it carry out some series of reaction, thereby generating our biological response and regulating our physiological function. Okay, so now we'll study about the, now when we say gland, what is gland? Okay, because some of the students, you must know this, a gland may be a cell or tissue or an organ. So don't confuse now with organ and gland, which secrete useful, which secrete useful chemical compounds required for particular function. Chemical compound required for particular function. Okay, now try to understand here that a gland may be even a single cell also, okay, or tissue also. Okay, pairs, patches are kind of a tissue, a group of, there, that is a gland. There is some single cell gland also that is called goblet cell. A single cell, but it acts as the gland. Okay, so gland may be a single cell, a tissue, okay, a group of layers of tissue, or an organ. Okay, so don't get confused with the gland and organ. Okay, so an organ may be a gland. Okay, but all glands may not be an organ. Okay, so organ means lungs is an organ, liver is also an organ, but liver is gland also, it can be regarded as a gland also, because it secretes bile juice, okay, or bile product. Now in case of the types of gland, we have got exocrine and endocrine. As I told you, types exocrine, glands with ducts, okay, and then endocrine means glands without duct. Endocrine, gland without duct. Their secretion is directly poured into the blood. Okay, but in case of exocrine secretion, they are carried to a place, nearby places, through a duct that is associated with this exocrine gland. So without ducts. Okay. Now, in case of exocrine, these are examples are salivary gland, gastric gland, liver, etc. Okay. And endocrine, there is a thyroid gland, is the endocrine gland, hormone produces hormone, thyroxine hormone. Okay. Pituitary gland, just at the base of the brain, that is the endocrine gland. Adrenal gland, right above the kidney, that is triangular in shape, that is the endocrine gland. Okay. There are some other glands also, endocrine gland, that acts in our body and regulating the different physiological functions. Okay. Now, first we'll start with the adrenal gland, or it is also yes, adrenaline gland or adrenal gland. Okay. Adrenal or adrenaline. Okay. So I'll write. First is the adrenal gland. Adrenal. Okay. You know that we have got a pair of kidneys and it is bean shaped like this. Okay, sorry, it will be like looks like this, vein shaped, and just above this, okay, there is the triangular shaped gland called adrenal gland. Okay, this is the vein shaped kidney is there, and just above this, okay, there is the uh, gland called adrenal gland. Okay, so adrenal gland, these are a pair of gland, a pair of glands situated on upper side of each kidney, upper side of each kidney. Okay, so they are in pairs, that means two in number. It is termed as emergency hormone. Its hormones are called, its hormones are called emergency hormone. Why? Because they are required, produced, and they are functional in emergency situations, called emergency hormone. Emergency hormone. Okay. Now, although they are secreted in little quantity, but sometimes they are secreted in little large quantity when the person is in danger or stress or scared. Okay, and then this. Okay, so normally secreted in small quantity, secreted in small quantity. Okay, but secreted in large quantity. So this means in stress, when suddenly, like, if you believe in like ghost, some people are very much scared, scared with about ghost or any kind of situation that makes the individual very much scared. Okay, or maybe a kind of stress, under a very high stress, or the person is in in very dangerous situation. So that time these hormones are secreted in little large quantity. So secreted in large quantity when a person in stress, danger, or scared. Okay, or sometimes tensed. So this is called emergency hormone. It's also called fight or flight hormone. Okay, so either you have to tackle with the situation or you have to run away. So there's a fight or flight hormone. Okay, now functions. Now this is important for exam. Functions. Okay, location is there on the right above the kidney. Okay, and this gland produce hormones called emergency hormone, because this is produced in emergency situations. Okay, so now in about the function. Function is important for exam. Please remember this. Okay, function. And also when you go to higher classes, you must know this, because this is as you are under the foundation course, so you must understand the function, because this will be again elaborated and it will be in more detail as you go up in the higher classes. And then there will be some concept based questions in the competitive examinations. Okay, so number one, they increase the heartbeat to supply. They increase the heartbeat. Heartbeat to supply more oxygen to muscles. Supply more oxygen oxygen to muscles. Okay, it helps the body to control blood sugar. It helps the body it helps the body to control blood sugar. Blood sugar. Now try to understand this. They increase the heartbeat. Okay, when this hormone is produced, the heart is beating very fast. Even in the tests or scared, or under the stress, a person's heartbeat increases. This is because of this hormone, and this heartbeat increases to supply more oxygen to muscles. Okay, and it regulates blood pressure. It regulates blood pressure. Okay, you know blood pressure. What is blood pressure? Blood pressure is the pressure exerted by the blood on the walls of the blood vessels, okay, while passing through the blood vessels. Okay, so the amount of blood which is there, that is related to the blood pressure. Okay, or how fast the heart is beating, so that is also related to the blood pressure. Okay, so some kind of pressure is exerted on the wall of the blood vessel, on the arteries of the body, so that is the blood pressure. Okay, then number 4, it controls increase in breathing. Increase in breathing rate due to contraction. Contraction of diaphragm and ribs muscle. Diaphragm and rib muscles. There are muscles on the ribs. Okay, the ribs. Okay, the rib bones, rib muscles. Okay, so contraction around this, they increase the breathing rate. Okay, breathing rate. When heart is beating, even the breathing rate is also increased. Okay, but because we need more oxygen. Okay, and due to supply of the more oxygen, and heart is beating faster. Okay, so these are the 4 points that you should remember. What are the functions of the adrenal hormones, or the hormones secreted by the adrenal glands, also called the hormones. These hormones are also called emergency hormones. Okay, also called emergency hormones because this is secreted in large quantity. Okay, during the emergency situations. Okay, as I told you, when you are in danger, or you are highly stressed, or you are scared. Okay. Now another important hormone according to your syllabus is the thyroid hormone. Important hormone is the thyroid. Okay, and this is produced by the thyroid gland. So this is the another endocrine gland that secretes important hormone called thyroxine, and it is the largest endocrine gland. On the first point, you must remember, it is the largest endocrine gland. Largest endocrine gland. Now, this is present in the neck region and is a butterfly shape. Okay, just at the junction of the trachea and larynx, and it is a kind of gland which is little unique because it produces its secretion hormones and temporarily stores in the follicles that is present in the endocrine gland, in this gland. Okay, this gland requires the iodine molecules or iodine for the synthesis of thyroxine hormones. Nowadays, we don't find the kind of disorder called goiter. Okay, a goiter is a kind of disorder which is caused due to deficiency of iodine, and that leads to the deficiency of production of the thyroxine hormones. When there is no production or very less production of thyroxine hormone, the tissues are inflamed and they enlarged, and there is a kind of swelling like a structure is formed in the neck region called goiter, which is nowadays observed in very less number, because nowadays many people are using iodized salt, and 2 decades ago this was a very prevalent and common disease in the hilly areas, where the people were short supply of iodine in their diet. Okay, so iodine is required. That's why when you study in the previous classes, when you study in class 6, 7, 8, 9, that iodine is required for the synthesis of thyroxine hormone. Iron is required for the synthesis of hemoglobin. Calcium is required for synthesis and development of bones, strong bones and teeth. Okay, so these are the different mineral elements required for different substance in our body. Okay, so now another important point is that it regulates the rate of oxidation. Okay, it regulates the rate of oxidation. Okay, means when we say our food is oxidized in respiration, means it is getting oxidized, means it is burnt in presence of oxygen. Okay, whenever oxidation means it is involved or there is a reaction with the oxygen, so rate of oxidation is increased. Okay, with the help of this this one. Okay, so now now another point is that number 3, it regulates the production of energy. It regulates. So basically this thyroxine hormone is involved in metabolism. Okay, overall metabolism of the body. Regulates the production of energy. Production of energy. So hormone is the thyroxine hormone, production of energy. Okay, so it is the thyroxine hormone. Okay, and this is denoted by abbreviation T3 and T4. Okay, when you must have heard about when doctor prescribes a test to diagnose about the level of thyroxine hormone, so they are writing about the T3, T4, and there is another one is the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, to test whether when some ladies, women, females are affected and there is some kind of disorder, there is a not proper functioning of the thyroid gland, then it is going to affect the other physiological functions of the body. So doctor, they try to know the level of the this hormone, and they ask to for the laboratory test for the T3, T4 and TSH. T3 means triiodothyronine. Okay, the full form is triiodo, 3 iodine, 3 atoms or 3 atoms of iodine in the main chemical structure of the thyroxine hormone. When there are 4 atoms present in the tyrosine amino acids, so what happens actually, this is not included in your syllabus. Please try to understand that this is not in your syllabus. You just to make you understand clearly. Okay, with the tyrosine amino acid, okay, there are different amino acids. Amino acids means these are the monomeric unit of protein. When amino acids joins together, okay, side by side adjacent, with the help of peptide bond, carbohydrates are joined by glycosidic linkage or glycosidic bond. Proteins or polypeptide chain is joined by peptide bond. Okay, so these amino acids, they form a linear chain that is called polypeptide chain, and these chains are again joined, they form protein, macromolecule, big molecule. But tyrosine is a one of a kind of amino acid which is required for the synthesis of thyroxine hormone. So plus 3 iodine, okay, the 3 atoms of iodine, then it will be T3, triiodothyronine. So it's called triiodothyronine. Okay, When there will be tyrosine amino acid, okay, I didn't drew the I didn't draw the structure of the amino acid. When we go to higher classes, we will study in detail, which is not required. You have to only know the amino thyroxine functions, its location, okay. Tyrosine amino acid. Sorry, I have written only amino acid plus a 4 atom of iodine, I. Okay, the symbol for iodine is only I, so it is then it becomes tetraiodothyronine or T4. Then it becomes the tetraiodothyronine. Tetraiodothyronine. So both are formed thyroid. Okay, so this is formed and released, okay, produced by thyroid gland, and they play an important role. Virtually all the tissues, okay, of the body are affected somehow, okay, directly or indirectly affected by this thyroxine hormone, and they play important role in regulation of body metabolism and regulation of energy production. Okay, so now another important gland is the pituitary gland. I told you that pituitary gland is present at the base of the brain, okay, in the head region, pituitary gland. Okay, this is also called master gland because a secretion of these hormones activates the secretion of other endocrine gland. For example, there is a hormone, just now I was told TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. This is secreted by a pituitary gland, and this thyroid stimulating hormone secreted by pituitary gland activates the thyroid gland to secrete thyroxine. Okay, so this is why it's called master gland, because it's activating the other. Okay, so it is present. So now it is present just below the brain. Okay, I told you it's present just below the brain. And that is one another important structure, hypothalamus, okay, adjacent to this gland, pituitary gland, below the brain. Okay, and it is small red, and it is small red gray, okay, reddish gray, P-shaped. Okay. P-shaped gland. Okay. Now function. Now improper secretion. I mean the unbalanced secretion of improper secretion of growth hormone. Growth hormone is one of the very important hormone. Growth hormone secreted by pituitary. Growth hormone can cause dwarfism. Number one is a dwarfism. Okay, so please remember the hormone that is secreted by the pituitary gland, very important hormone is the GH, growth hormone. Okay, growth hormone. So under secretion or hyposecretion, it may cause dwarfism due to deficiency of GH, or growth hormone, GH. Okay, then there is a gigantism. When there is over secretion, then there will be growth. So it has to be balanced. Gigantism. Okay, over secretion or excess secretion. Over secretion of GH. Okay, so this is the thing, because everything has to be balanced. Okay, in case of nature we find everything is balanced. Okay, and it has to run smoothly, it has to be balanced. Like in case of the global warming, okay, or greenhouse effect, we find that there has to be some carbon concentration, carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere, in the air, so that the blood, this earth is warm. Okay. Now we are hearing about there is cutting of forest, cutting of trees, deforestation, and destruction of the natural vegetation, that is causing the increase in the carbon dioxide concentration in the air or atmosphere, which is ultimately leading to the more greenhouse effect and global warming, which is the matter of concern nowadays. Okay, and other greenhouse gases are also released in by different industries and factories, and which is contributing to the. But just remember, when there is when this carbon dioxide concentration is very less, and when there is afforestation and there is no destruction at all, so if the concentration of the carbon dioxide is become very less, because the natural vegetation will take in the carbon dioxide, and then the oxygen will be more, because they carry out the photosynthesis, and while photosynthesis they release oxygen in the atmosphere. So if that is so, then what will happen? The temperature will be very less, then the greenhouse effect will be very less. Greenhouse effect should be there at some extent, at certain extent, so that to keep the earth warm, okay, at comfortable level. But if it is more than the required, then it is a problem. Similarly, in case of the blood sugar level, insulin is responsible for capturing, holding, and joining the glucose molecule, and then changing it into glycogen molecules, which is a non-sugar compound. It's a polysaccharide, carbohydrate. So if somebody is taking insulin to control, because insulin is not produced, insulin is responsible for controlling the blood sugar level, and taking external insulin, what will happen? If it is little more in quantity, then there will be very less blood sugar level. It will go down drastically. It may go down, so that person may fall down unconsciously, and that is also very dangerous, because glucose is the main fuel that we use to produce energy. So it's not that it should go to a very low level. It should be there, but to a certain level, optimum level, so that our body can produce energy. But if it is more than the required, then it will be dangerous. If you are going to fill the fuel in the petrol and diesel in the vehicle more than the required, then it will be very, very harmful, dangerous. And so similarly here, it's a different case, although, but I told you the analogy. Now, another important organ, or you can say the endocrine gland, is the testis. Testis is the gonad, or that means the gamete producing gland, but also acts as endocrine gland and produces the male sex hormone called testosterone. Male sex hormone, that is the testosterone. And ovaries is also producing, and they produce ovaries. Similarly, like testis, the ovary is a female reproductive organ, or you can say female gamete producing gland, and it produces female sex hormone. So that is the female sex hormone, estrogen and progesterone. Sex hormone, estrogen and progesterone. So these are so this name you have to remember. Now pancreas is another important gland. Pancreas. Pancreas has, as I told you, the endocrine part and exocrine both. It's called mixed gland. Mixed gland. It has got both endocrine and exocrine part. There is some pitch. It looks like this kind of structure, long, and pointed at it, conical in one end and little flat at another end, and there's some patches of tissues are there. And these patches, islets, like it's called islets of Langerhans. It's called islets of Langerhans. These islets of Langerhans has got types of tissue called alpha cell, beta cells, and delta cells. Okay, this alpha cells produces glucagon hormone. Glucagon hormone. This beta cells produce insulin, and this produces somatostatin. Somatostatin. Okay. Glucagon and insulin are important according to the syllabus. Glucagon is responsible for releasing the glucose in the blood. That means breaking down the glycogen molecule and then increasing the level of the glucose in the blood. Just acting in an opposite direction of what insulin is doing. Okay. So they are antagonistic. So insulin and glucagon are antagonistic hormone. These are the antagonistic, acting in opposite antagonistic, agonistic. Okay. Insulin is controlling the blood sugar level, whereas the glucagon is responsible for increasing the blood sugar level by breaking down the glycogen. Here, insulin is catching and changing the glucose into glycogen molecule and storing in the liver and the muscles, whereas this glucagon is breaking down the glycogen molecule and increasing the level of the glucose in the body. So, those who are suffering from the deficiency of insulin and the high blood sugar level, they are called. It is called the disease is called diabetes mellitus. Okay, mellitus. Okay, so they need to take this insulin or medicines, and if it is not controlled by the medicine, they take insulin. Or the artificially synthesized insulins are also available in the market. So you know how much every small or half drop they inject on the subcutaneous in the abdomen. Subcutaneous means under the skin. Subcutaneous. Okay, it is small injection like. So they take half drop or one drop. So just imagine, I told you in the beginning of the class, the hormones are required in very or active, or they show action in very minute and little quantity. Okay, and half a drop in one drop is more than sufficient to control the whole body glucose level that is running in the blood. Okay, one drop maybe. So this is all about the hormones in animals. Okay, and tomorrow again we'll meet at the same time with another new topic. After the class, like as I told you, when you go to your, this academic booster, when you click on the resources, you'll find writing material. Click on the writing material, then you'll find the DPP, and then download this and solve the questions that is there in the DPP and send back to us. Okay, thank you for joining and listening today. Tomorrow again we'll meet at the same time, and till then, goodbye.